I'd like to take a few minutes and clarify the week 6 assignment. Start off with, let me say, this assignment stands alone. It's not related to the week 3, 4, or the final paper. The purpose of this assignment is to let you do a deeper dive in multicultural diversity and coaching, which are important subtopics in IO psychology. As you can see, it's an outline of a coaching plan. So there's a scenario. Assume you've been hired as a consultant to develop a coaching strategy to prepare U.S. food company executives of both genders for assignment in East Asia. Now, East Asia is general, so you're going to want to start off with by selecting a specific country within East Asia. There will be the executives will be leading multicultural teams in a new division of the company. None have had experience. Your task is to develop an outline of a coaching plan. Now, parts of this will be an outline. Parts of it you'll need to be narrative. To start off with, it says refer to Gert Hofstede's website. Now, I've got it open. It's the country comparisons. And as you can see, I've got China and the United States here. You just type in a country. I just type in Vietnam, it adds that up. It'll go up to 3 countries deep. So you can see right here is the comparison between China in the first position, United States in the second, and Vietnam is the third. So I could pick either one. So let's say I pick China, so I don't need Vietnam. I just click it out. So now it's China and the United States. So I can see power distance. The Chinese are more acceptance of hierarchy. Collectivism is going to be another theme that's going to be different than the United States. They're similar on masculinity, although China is a little more formal about gender, so you'll need to consider that in the coaching plan. The same way, uncertainty avoidance, Chinese need a little more structure. They're more patient, more long-term oriented, less spontaneous. So this will be information that will help you in completing the assignment. Now, if I come back to this, to start off with, you'll write 10 essential interview questions to ask each executive, and you'll want to provide a source to support your 10 questions. You'll literally need to write 10 questions out. Some of those questions may pertain to how familiar they are with cultural differences. You'll explain the coaching approach you would use. Usually that's theoretical. Like, for example, I might want to say I might use positive psychology or Gestalt approach in coaching, or a contingency approach like situational leadership. And then you identify cultural differences based on Hofstede's model. Discuss how age and gender inform coaching decisions. For example, age might be a factor if you have a younger executive working with older employees in China. They're going to have to consider age. And so discuss whether age or race should be considered and if either would affect coaching recommendations. Then you're going to write a role play scenario involving an interaction between a Western male and a subordinate. It says East Asian, but for me it'd be China because I selected China. And you hit these 3 things in the scenario, and then do the same thing for a female executive. Or how would you change based on gender? Then explain how you would evaluate the effectiveness of your coaching plan. How would you know if your plan was effective? What are the ethical considerations? And then make sure you provide sources for at least the interview questions, your coaching approach, and evaluation plan. If you have a citation for these 3, you're good. Now, if we look at additional requirements, writing APA, we talked about the references. When it says 1 reference for each comprehension test, I think what more accurate would be 1 reference for interview questions, another one for a coaching approach, another one for evaluation plan. about 5 to 7 pages. Let's look at the scoring guide. If we get up here to the scoring guide, you apply a coaching approach, and notice it says cites multiple sources, so you may want to have 1 or 2 sources supporting your coaching plan. One might be theoretical framework, the other might be process. Then provides multiple supporting sources for interview questions, your coaching approach, and your evaluation plan. So we talked about the importance of that. Applies theory and research to develop essential interview questions. So you want to support your interview questions. Comprehensively identifies ethical considerations. It's has few writing errors, few APA errors. Has a plan for evaluation, and you provide a transcript for a male and a female. So that's your scoring guide. You want to consider that. This is Hofstede's site, which you can see is pretty easy to use. If I take this down, it looks like this when you come into it. You just type in what you want. So for example, I typed in United States, I hit enter, and there it is, United States. Then I decide, who do I want? China, Japan, Vietnam, pick an East Asian country, type it in, and now you have a comparison set right up here. And so that gives you some data. And remember, this is a standalone, so it doesn't matter what your subtopic is, everyone will be working on the same scenario here. The only thing that'll be different is that you can select a country of interest within East Asia and use it as a basis for your outline. I think you can use outline format, and then you'll have sections that are narrative where you'll have to write out your 10 questions. You're going to have to write out your role play scenarios. And so this is the week 6 assignment. Thank you.